Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update with the Epstein situation, the administration coming out on Sunday night and saying that Epstein blackmailed no one. There's nothing to see here, releasing a video, their so called evidence of Epstein being in his cell by himself with no one else entering, supposedly 11 hours worth. Then people said, well, it's missing a minute. And they questioned Pam Bondi about this in this cabinet meeting. They're taking questions, and before the question is even, Bondi can even respond, Trump takes over and says, well, why are you talking about this? There's nothing to see here. I mean, it's just a very bad look for the administration. There's no denying it. And they're trying to act like, well, everything's fine. It's not. I will say, let me just put this out there. Can I put this out there before we get into the video? When you think about it, you look at the Democrats and liberals, from what I can see, are really not saying much about this situation, which is curious considering it is such a terrible look for the administration. And I guess the reason why they're not saying anything is because they sat on the so-called information that Pam Bondi had, which she may or may not have had. People are saying, well, everything was already burned and destroyed, but then Pam Bondi says, I've got stuff on my desk, we're waiting to release it. Trump's lawyer says this stuff is so graphic, it's so horrible. So did it exist? Did it not exist? But the Democrats had 4 years. They didn't do anything with this. Their party didn't question them at all. You can say, well, we were naive for believing Trump would release this. And people like laugh at us. Well, at least we're trying to force the administration into doing something, and it's made Trump look very bad, right? The Democrats did not pressure Biden or that administration at all to release anything in relation to Epstein, whether there was a foreign government involved, foreign intelligence, none of that. At least we pressured Trump, and I mean, listen, it's made Trump, and again, it's made Trump look bad, but we're pressuring him to try and release it, and they say, well, you know what, there's nothing here. And now it's this big uniparty cover-up, and it's Elon Musk's wet dream because he launches this new party, and then this happens. And now Musk is going around saying, well, Steve Bannon also is on the Epstein list, so that's just great. So he's out there saying that. Or he's saying he's in the files, I should say. I think he said he's in the files, which, again, the files are massive. Trump, we know there's potential connection, and he's been seen with Epstein in videos, and it is what it is. But the point of it is there's no Trump going to the island or partaking in any of these activities. The question is, Trump has people around him that might have been, and that's why Trump was really coy about it, and maybe that's part of the cover-up. And I think people have to understand the reason Democrats really can't hone in and try and focus on this is because where was the pressure within the Democratic Party to try and stand up to this terrible situation that we think happened with Jeffrey Epstein? They had, they were in office for 4 years. We made it a huge campaign thing with 2024, and I mean, it has made Trump look very bad, and we can question on whether or not this will really affect anything when it comes to any situation like the midterms. I would say probably not in any meaningful way unless this somehow curtails into a bigger thing. The problem is something like this, you want to sweep it under the rug because it's a year away. With Elon Musk's new party, this is a very big thing for him. And unfortunately, because the Democrats really don't care about Epstein, it becomes Musk just siphoning off Trump supporters or Republicans, moderate Republicans, because Trump has not delivered on the Epstein files. Their administration, their attorney general blatantly either lied to us or they destroyed the evidence. And you can talk about Kash Patel, Bongino. Look at what Kash Patel and Bongino said before they got in office versus what they're doing. I mean, they've been neutered. You get talk. There's more powerful people. They talk to you, and you're not going to release this, you're not going to say this, you're not going to say, and then people say, well, do you really think they're lying to you? Well, there's just a lot of things when it comes to the U.S. government and the powers that be and the levers that turn it, and when you get in, you can act like you're this big hot shot, and that's what Kash Patel did before he got in. He said, I'm going to do X, Y, Z in 4 days, everything's going to, and nothing happens, right? You get in, and it's a little bit different of a ball game, and so it's hard to really, and also you have to factor in, there's so many variables to this, and I'm not trying to excuse it. This is a bad clip by Trump, but if there's all these people on this list and there's going to be all these witch hunts over the next 4 or 5 years, how much will that bog down this administration? Again, I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just saying you have to factor everything in when talking about this. But let's see. This is a legitimate question. This is their big cabinet meeting that happened at 11 o'clock this morning. The reporter asked and said, I mean, what's going on with this? How is this possible? And Trump jumps in right away.
Sure.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure.
Could I just interrupt? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. And that's it on Epstein.
It's one of the greatest mysteries when it comes to the infrastructure surrounding jails, how the camera quality is always so extremely low. Honestly, by the time you could tell, I think it was in between like 11:59 and midnight. But like the point of it is that doesn't even make any sense. The question to her is, let's forget about the whole thing about the minute being missing. Why was it reported, really ever since he supposedly killed himself, why has it been reported that by Reuters and other reputable sources, if you want to call them reputable, they said, well, we don't have the video because no video exists, the cameras malfunctioned. Now the cameras are fine? What about that situation? And it makes the government look a lot worse, like it's a cover-up. Why would you not want to reveal that video immediately? If you've got security video of it, this entire thing is bad. This entire thing is bad, and Trump is trying to deflect. He's trying to get everyone off of it. It just makes himself look worse. If you're, really what the administration should have done if they were going to take this route is they should have said, and also what does Pam Bondi mean? She said, well, it's on my desk. The file is on my desk. Well, yeah, well, where's the file? Now the file doesn't exist? Or maybe she's specifying she's talking about something else. It's not the client list. I don't know. I don't even know what she's saying. She's like, yeah, I was talking about it being on my desk. Right, that's the issue. Now you're saying it doesn't exist. Or I guess what she's saying is it wasn't the client list, it was the file, and there wasn't anything in the file that had a client list. I don't know. I mean, listen, Trump has to understand, really, that's not how you should handle the situation. I know Trump just wants to move on from it. Obviously, their administration does, but for him to say that, you're deflecting. You're deflecting again. And so really what they should have done if they were going to go this route is they should have on day 1 or day 2 said, everything's already been destroyed. We just got in. We're trying to be transparent about it. We're sorry it's been destroyed. Instead, they string everyone along. They say it's going to happen. Their AG comes out and says they've got, she's got all the information. One of Trump's lawyers says there's all this information. It's all terrible. And nothing comes out, and it looks like a cover-up. I mean, it's very bad. So, and then Trump tries to play it like, oh, this doesn't matter. We need to talk about other things. Well, your administration just put out a huge statement on it. Of course, people are going to ask about it. Are we really going to play dumb like this? And I know he wants to move on, but he should just say, I don't know. You can ask the GOJ. I mean, apparently that he was asking, that was a direct question to Bondi, and Trump stepped in and said, we shouldn't even be talking about this right now. The guy's a creep. It's over. Forget about it, basically, is what Trump is saying. So, I don't know what to tell people. It is what it is. Obviously, there's more to the story that's not being told, and whether or not they had the list, they didn't have it. People say it was already destroyed. It's gone. I don't know why Bondi would say that. Maybe Bondi misspoke and said she just had a file that contained a bunch of stuff that couldn't be released because it was too graphic. And that's really what she meant. But I mean, even the security camera, like, really? After saying that, oh, it malfunctioned, we're sorry, we've got it now. I mean, come on. And that security camera, it does not show, it shows the corridor. It doesn't show Epstein's. It's not that door that you're seeing is not Epstein's cell. It's a door that opens to a corridor of like a wing of cells, and Epstein's cell is within that corridor. So that's another thing, but I don't really know what to say about it. Trump responds to it, and he wants people to move on from it. I mean, I think you're talking about potential of foreign entanglement. You've got Netanyahu at the White House having a celebration dinner over this being swept under the rug. I mean, it's I guess also the Iran situation as well, but it's pretty disheartening the way this turned out. And I do understand to a degree you don't want your administration bogged down in all these different hunts for people and the distrust in the government, and it becomes a problem. And it's one of those things to where Trump was always kind of coy on the release of it, and that maybe makes him more guilty. You know, I don't think Trump is really in it in any meaningful way. That's horrible, but I think there's probably people maybe Trump knows, or he's hinted, he said, well, if it gets released, it's going to implicate people that are not guilty, and he thinks that's bad, like in terms of who's in the files. And this is just another one of those moments with the US government where it's blatantly obvious that they're lying. And so whether you think they're lying in the sense of Bondi lied when she said she had the list or she had it on her desk to review, whether you think they're lying about just the entire thing in terms of suddenly, I mean, what is the actual opinion from the administration on Epstein himself? He didn't blackmail anyone. That's the opinion. I mean, there's been photos that have been taken that would pretty much completely disprove that. So I don't know. And they're trying to forget about it. They're trying to move on. It is what it is. But either way, guys, make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Links to that's always in the description.